The phone rang just after sunrise. I smiled when I saw my son's name on the screen. It had been almost 2 weeks since we last spoke, and I was looking forward to hearing about my grandchildren. Instead, I heard his cheerful voice say something that changed everything. "Mom, don't send anything to the old address anymore. We moved last week. I guess we forgot to tell you." For a moment, I thought he was joking. I laughed softly, waiting for him to explain. But he didn't. He simply continued talking about how beautiful the new neighborhood was, how excited the kids were, and how busy they had been unpacking. I sat there in silence. "You forgot to tell me." "I finally asked ya," he replied casually. Things were crazy anyway. "I'll text you the new address later." That was all. No apology. No concern, no realization that his own mother had been completely left out of one of the biggest moments in his family's life. After we hung up, I stared at the family photos covering my living room wall. I remember the nights I worked double shifts after his father passed away. I remembered skipping meals so he could have new school clothes. Every birthday, every graduation, every heartbreak, I had been there. Yet somehow when he moved his family into a new home, I wasn't important enough to receive a phone call. I cried that afternoon, not because they moved, but because I realized I had slowly become an afterthought. Over the following weeks, I stopped calling. First, I stopped sending surprise gifts. I stopped reminding him about family birthdays or holidays. If he reached out, I answered politely. But I no longer chased the relationship. Months passed. One evening, he called Mom. "Are you okay? You've been distant." I calmly replied, "I'm giving you the same place in my life that you've given me in yours." Silence filled the line. He tried to laugh it off. But I continued. "When you moved, you forgot to tell me that wasn't forgetfulness." It showed me exactly where I stand. He became defensive. "You're making a big deal out of nothing." "No," I answered gently. "I've spent years making excuses for being treated like I don't matter. I'm done doing that." For the first time in his life, I didn't argue, I didn't beg. I simply ended the conversation. Over the next several months, I focused on myself. I joined a local book club, started volunteering at a community kitchen, and even took painting classes. Slowly, my world stopped revolving around waiting for my son to call. Ironically, the less I chased him, the more often he reached out. At first, I kept the conversation short, respectful but brief. Then one Saturday, he showed up at my front door alone. His eyes looked tired. "Can I come in?" We sat at the kitchen table where I had helped him with homework decades earlier. He admitted something I never expected. "When you stopped calling, I realized I had been taking you for granted. I thought you'd always be there, no matter how little effort I made." I listened quietly. He continued. "When my kids asked why Grandma never visited anymore, I didn't know what to tell them. For the first time, I saw a genuine regret. He apologized, not with excuses, but with honesty. 'I hurt you, Mom. I'm sorry.' Tears filled both our eyes. I told him forgiveness wasn't difficult. Rebuilding trust was from that day forward. He started proving his words through actions. He called every Sunday. He invited me to school events. He asked for my advice again. Most importantly, he stopped assuming that love meant unlimited patience without respect. Our relationship didn't become perfect overnight. Healing never works that way. But little by little, we became family again. Not because I accepted being ignored, but because I finally valued myself enough to stop accepting less than I deserved. Sometimes the strongest act of love isn't holding on tighter. Sometimes it's stepping back and allowing someone to realize what your presence has always meant. The day my son forgot to tell me he had moved, I thought I had lost my place in his life. Instead, it became the day we finally learned that real family isn't built by obligation. It is built by appreciation, respect, and choosing each other every single day.